you check the children? Show a little match sometimes.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Sometimes that is better.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Howdy folks, welcome back to the Horror Show. I'm Robert Duell.
And again, Jaime and Fuego here, doing another bit of television coverage for you Fright fans, and this is our thoughts about the first season of HBO Max's Raise Thy Wolves. And yes, I know Robert is a big fan of the werewolf of sorts, but no, that's
No wolves to be had here.
none at all. It's more so like kind of a euphemism, figurative sort of speaking here. And yeah, Ridley Scott returning to the realm of sci-fi. He only directed the first 2 episodes of this 8 or 9 episode
10.
season 10
Yeah,
episodes.
10 episode series.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
God, it was 10 episodes.
Yeah.
And it kind of dragged a little bit in the midpoint and stuff like that. But as a whole, if we're just going to give overall impressions about this, which is very religious heavy in a lot of ways, especially with the fact that I was raised Reformed Baptist and everything, and the fact that it's like you had, the believers and then those who were
Your
like kind of
atheists.
that atheist separatist sort of
Yeah.
aspect, and the like Earth has been essentially destroyed. And you're trying to find a new place to inhabit, and yes, lo and behold, there's a reprogrammed android who, along with a counterpart, the mother and father, so to speak, are the ones who have taken and are trying to set up a new just civilization, so to speak, on it's what, a moon of
Kepler 22, I believe it was.
It's an actual place, yeah. It's a moon of a distant planet. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
something
been-
like that, yeah.
Yeah, as I watched it with Catherine, she basically was like, yeah, that's actually presumably an inhabitable place. It's somewhere where human life, as they suppose,
Interesting.
could actually be able to thrive and continue and stuff like that. But yeah, man, for those overall impressions, I mean, it started with a bloody blast in the first episode as we got some backstory. There is a contingent of characters that come from this arc, and just, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of different things in play, whether it's the nature of these androids, how evil are they, or how caring are they? Is there a reprogrammability, so to speak? There's a bunch of kids involved, and then there are those who would presumably take over this just like fledgling colony and just kind of repurpose it for themselves. So I mean, there was enough intrigue, there was enough insight and interest and stuff, and I mean the production values, being HBO, were pretty damn good. The pacing slogged here and there. I think that it could have maybe been like a 6 to 8 episode series at the end of the day, but as a whole, I dug it, and I'm very curious if there's going to be a second season. Man, what were your thoughts?
Firstly, I actually hope there is a second season, just on the way it ended. And
Same.
Fuego and I were talking about that off camera earlier. It's like, that was a pleasant surprise and like little twist of what they end up doing. But overall thoughts, again, like I was really happy, or excited, I should say, for the initial series when we did the trailer reaction. And we did that, right?
Oh, we must.
I believe so.
definitely did.
Yeah. We do so much around here.
Yeah. Constant content, man.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, it was nice to see Ridley Scott coming back to kind of like that his sci-fi roots, in a sense, because especially in the
Alien, Blade Runner.
yeah, in the first couple the first 2 episode that he directed, you can definitely tell that there is a very heavy Alien Prometheus overtone with the colonization of like mother and father, with what they're doing with the children and things like that. And I actually thought that was pretty cool. It's like basically, yeah, like Earth is gone, so we're trying to re-inhabit it, a whole new world. But one thing, like even like Fuego was talking about earlier, is this show is very religious heavy, and it's kind of funny is that at a couple points it kind of made me think, it's like, well, no wonder why I went away from my Catholic faith into other stuff. We're not going to get into that, but yeah.
yeah. Myself as an agnostic,
Yeah.
I'm just like, I still feel a presence of things, but maybe not necessarily the way that
Yeah,
I
as a
fashioned to,
singular
view
God,
it,
no, but multiple gods for things, yes.
or just like a higher power period. Is what I would probably say.
But even this too and everything, because you have your characters of like your crusaders, of what we dealt with here in our own history. And it's basically those people who are so brainwashed by religion that they're willing to kill even innocent people just on the names of their faith, which in turn you're impurifying yourself is what they're trying to like. This whole thing is like, oh, he's impure, things like that's where it kind of gets me on this. Is like with a lot of their actions, even your so-called religious folks, yeah, they're very heavily flawed.
Yeah.
But they're expressed very nicely, even on some of the characters and everything. I'm drawing a blank on our lead guy. He's from Vikings. Something Femel and everything.
Yeah, he is a scruffy-looking badass who has
Yeah.
taken on the skin of another person along with his wife, and they kind of become the X factor in this without getting too spoilerific in the fact that you initially view certain characters one way, and there are arcs for whether it's that couple or the androids.
Yeah, and I
father.
very much enjoyed the numerous arcs that we had within the characters. So real quick, just summing up my overall thoughts, I thoroughly enjoyed this before we get back into everything else.
Yeah, story-wise. Yeah. Because the story is dense, man. There's a lot going on.
There is a lot to this story, most definitely.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, if you guys haven't checked this out, I would highly recommend it. It is kind of a slow burn between, like, episode 5 and 7, but it's decent. It's good enough filler that I wouldn't recommend, like...
Filler.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend, like...
Sorry, minor thing.
Looking away too much on it, because there is those little details that you're going to need to get for the rest of the story, even on your backing characters. But other than that, check this out on HBO Max and everything. And like I said, I really hope with the ending that we got on episode 10, we do have a second season.
Yeah, and so like story-wise, just to kind of get back to that and kind of sum up some of what we've already said before, a reprogrammed kind of almost like borderline Terminator sort of chick.
They're called necromancers.
Indeed. I mean, we're talking like golden goddess floating in the sky and blowing people the hell up and all of the craziness of that.
Real quick reference and everything to what he's talking about. There's actually two things you can guys probably reference to understand like what we're talking about if you haven't seen the show. So there's an anime called Elfen Lied.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
And dude, check that out. That thing is brutally bloody and it's beautiful. So there's basically a similar scene with that, and then same with a scene from a 90s video game called Galarians. And basically, he's...
Well, you're stumping me both times.
Yeah.
Was it a PlayStation game?
It was.
Okay,
it
I
was
never
and
owned a
everything.
PlayStation, so
it was,
that's probably why.
It was a PS1 and everything
I was
like
a
that.
Sega Saturn and N64 guy. So,
okay, you're one of those people.
I hate Sony so much. I hate you.
PlayStation for life. But either way, so
Cecil gives me shit.
So basically, like the ending scene of episode 1 is very similar to scenes in those shows and everything. And
where she's walking through the ship
blowing
and
people the fuck up, man.
Yeah,
like,
it's one of the most grisly
gorgeous
scenes that you will see in this entire bit. And then she kidnaps a bunch of those kids. Or actually she kills a bunch of them. Spoilery, first episode, and then there's
that's not sugarcoated. She straight murks.
Yeah.
Everything.
Pretty much everybody except she handpicks a few kids to bring back because that's like part of her programming, prototype.
Yeah. Again, because they're like what mother and father are main two androids. Their goal is to recolonize this new planet with basically
and she even takes out father in that.
Yeah, a fresh human race without religion and the former conflicts and repeating of history. And that's one thing that they heavily kind of emphasized on humanity's issue of repeating history.
Yeah, that cyclical aspect and the religious warfare of sorts, except like compared to the like holy wars and stuff like that, so to speak. Not the Megadeth song, which is amazing, but I mean going back to that stuff that was transpiring in the Fertile Crescent, and I mean, it's like not warring religions, it's like religion or the lack thereof, and so that's why we have with hopes of restarting humanity, we have this mother and father who are on this separate planet, and there's a young boy who is the only survivor of all of the embryos that they bring, but then he is joined by all the kids from this arc after Mother destroys it. So.
And I do like the explanation of what happened basically with the other children. Yeah. When it was, I believe, episode 6 or 7, I believe, you finally figure out what happened to like everybody else, and it was
the curtain back a little bit.
it was nicely done because it was that high plausibility of this could happen on an alien planet that nobody knows anything about. So that was a nice little thing. So so we touched on the story basically.
I think we have for the most part. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, a couple androids basically try to recolonize a new planet. And that's basically the short and sweet of it.
Yeah, and then eventually the religious contingent makes their way back to the planet after the destruction of this ark. And it basically turns into them with the X factor of those people in disguise without really getting into excessive bits of it. Yeah. But there's arcs to certain characters with just to give final thoughts on story that I found interesting, because I mean, even with Mother, you find her insanely villainous initially, but there's like kind of a transition that transpires.
Because you're very
over the course
unsure of her
stuff.
actual motives.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the nice thing, is like she actually plays this character very like stone cold. Like, you can't, like, she's very good at like keeping down those emotions and playing an android. Even Father, the guy who played Father. Like,
he's cracking jokes and trying to like he's got a little bit less of an edge to him in
but
comparison
it's so
with her,
dry
because
that
he's
it's
not
perfectly like an android. Like if he's trying to tell jokes.
No, just very like deadpan, and you're like, okay, that's not particularly funny, but man, all of the kids I thought were good. If we're gonna segue into acting and stuff like that, and especially certain ones just being accordingly annoying as they should have been, especially that one privileged older kid who is like, no, I don't want to do any hard labor. I don't want to, like he was not about it. And
one thing I will say,
a treacherous aspect. I
did kind of like his little arc that he'd had.
Yeah, he had one too.
That was nice. And again, like even most of our characters, they had at least 2 or 3 little flip flops of an arc, which was kind of nice because it kept you guessing on what their actual motives were. Yeah. And how they felt about the entire situation.
Well, and also the disillusionment from some of them too. I mean, especially the pregnant girl, and everything that she goes through.
Was rough.
Yeah, it was insanely rough. I mean, being a guy, I can't even fathom or imagine, man. And yet, there's also even like the cute little Asian girl who's like, no one listens to me because I'm small.
Yeah.
One of my favorite lines of the entire show, man. I mean.
But again, like we all dealt with that as a kid and everything. You're a kid. No one listens to you, even if you actually saw what you saw.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I thought all the kids were good, man, and I mean, performances really across the board, and
most definitely.
And the kind of, without getting too into it, the guy from Vikings and his descent into madness without really going into it. That was very compelling, I must say. I thought that was really good, and just wondering how far into it he's going to go as he steps into this leader role, despite the fact that he's wearing somebody else's skin, without getting too much into it. There's, once again, as I said earlier, there's a lot of balls in the air. There is a lot, like, this is a very deep show. There are so many subplots that are all just kind of intermingling, and I mean, some don't pay off quite as much as others, but for the most part, man, I mean, this is really dense, dope sci-fi, and like especially with the effects too. Like the look of this planet was really rad status.
Like,
I mean,
everything about this visually. Okay, so guys, like obviously you've already told we're kind of a little jumbled on hodgepodgey and everything on our.
Cecil keeps us on track.
Yeah,
you know how that goes.
But either way, as long as you're keeping on the same page with us and everything. But yeah, so quick jumping over. So real quick on the acting. Yeah, I'm not gonna. It's basically going to be a reiteration of what Fuego said.
I was stepping on toes.
No, you're good.
Sorry.
You're good, man. No, honestly, we didn't have a single weak actor personally, even from the children. And I've said this before, like that can kind of be your make or break on your episodes or your movie or series, whatever.
Truly,
is your child actors.
And for directors to get good performances
exactly, out of them. Like they really worked well with these kids, and just even the chemistry between everybody, from our main characters to the children to our secondary militant people. Like they all had a very well done chemistry together. They made it very believable.
And also when the essence of like division and deception is implied within
and that
the
goes
ranks
back
of
to the
those
whole
survivors.
religion aspect and everything, because like, oh, you're a non-believer, and then all this shit, like it's just that spiral corkscrew of bullshit.
Yeah, when there's like the misspeaking of some of those different things, or when they're not cool with the song that they're singing and stuff like that, and you're like, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Are you guys actually who we think you are?
Yeah. So. And those were nice little details I definitely enjoyed. Because it made you kind of like, oh shit, it's like they're gonna get busted.
Yeah, they're on the verge like throughout the entirety of the later episodes of the show, for sure. Yeah.
So getting back into visuals.
Visuals, man.
This
what a pretty show.
Entire series from start to the final episode on the first season was absolutely stunning. Like even our CG, it was so well done. It at times it looked practical, and even our practical and everything for some creatures that we come to see on the planet later on in the series, the CG wasn't bad at all. Like the articulation was very well done. But even when we actually saw the
weird movement of the bony creature,
yeah,
initially and messing with them,
and when we got the actual practical effects of those creatures, they looked creepy and it was really well done. But even like costume design, the set design of the planet, that was very well done. Like,
I was wondering where they shot it, if it was on a soundstage or if
I'm
they
not
actually,
entirely
if
sure
they
about
actually
that.
went out to somewhere in California or elsewhere.
And again, it's HBO, so they're just in money everything. Like,
splooge.
Yeah, they're just splooging money everywhere. But they know what they want, and they're doing it right, and they're doing it well.
Yeah, and the androgyny of the costuming for both mother and father, and then also even these escaped people from the Ark.
Yeah.
I mean, boy, it was all very just kind of pseudo sci-fi, but also had kind of a nomadic, back to the Dark Ages.
A little bit,
kind
yeah.
of being out in
Because
the
it
Middle
goes
East
back
sort
to
of
that whole thing
situation.
of having to restart humanity.
Yeah.
So you're basically, you're going back to stone weapons at that point, for the most part.
And also Mother, when she is like golden and floating and everything, looked super
Dude,
badass.
that was badass. I loved the design of the necromancers in this.
Yeah, she looked like some fearsome bit of nastiness with like the floating around and just
I'm not gonna lie though,
destruction she brings.
she looked kind of hot.
Yeah,
Not gonna lie.
and dare I say they actually like sexualized her a little bit more so in those scenes than when she's just being regular mother, so to speak.
Yeah.
Although even the way she's like stuck out her tummy and stuff like that, like she had weird posturing.
At times, she did have weird posture.
You find out later why.
Yeah, exactly. And that was a cool little twist.
Yeah.
I dug the hell out of that. And that's also why I'm more so excited for season 2.
Yeah, when there is a reveal of a certain serpentine like creature that happens in the later episodes, and it was pretty rad status.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, even when you jump into a volcano, it's so like continuation.
Yeah. So real quick,
any last thoughts?
Music, score, and everything like that. Personally, there wasn't anything drastically that stuck out to me.
Yeah,
but the music at the same time didn't take me out of the scenes. They kept me gravitated to the characters and the emotions of what was going on.
Truly.
Especially with the character of Tempest.
Yeah.
When she basically had her revenge, we'll call it, which was a good for her.
Yeah, and that's where the sound design just came so hardcore into play. And I mean, even back to that first episode with just like the explosion of bodies and just how cathartically disgusting it sounded and everything. I mean, yeah, it was just very, very divisive,
It had a
decisive, and just
goopy sound.
very much so.
It's
As you would expect.
Yeah, for saying it simple, it was a goopy sound.
It's a good word for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this was, as we always say on this channel, HBO does not muck around, man. Nope. They put their best foot forward, and I'm with Robert, where I'm super hopeful we get to see a second season of this show. Cecil wasn't quite as about it as either of us were, which is why he's not standing in for this one, but perhaps if the second season...
people can't always be right, I love you.
Perhaps if the second season is a little bit more compelling for him, he'll join us for this one. But yeah, guys, HBO Max is the destination to watch Raised by Wolves, which is developed by none other than Alien and Blade Runner's own Ridley Scott. So jump over and check it out. Give us your thoughts in the comments below.
Oh yeah, and if you guys want to become a patron and everything, we got that all in the description below. We got different tiers you can choose each month, all that good stuff.
Tell us what to do, what to review. Bring it on.
Other than that, thank you for joining us here at the Horror Show. I've been Robert Duell.
And I've been Jaime Fuego.
And remember, stay scared!